Beautiful people, I'm Anna. Welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing our first movie review on this channel. For the first one, we're going to tackle Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. For movie reviews, I think the way I want to do is I want to have 4 categories, which is usually my personal criteria for watching movies by myself. And there's story, entertainment, how well written it is, and would I recommend it. So let's get right in it. I have to say this movie really does a great job of incorporating all the different backstories from all the different Spider-Man in the comics and the movies that we've seen before. I feel like the way they fused them all together was seamless, so A+ for that. I really enjoy the way the story flowed, even though the movie followed so many different characters. I'm actually trying to do this video without spoilers, so bear with me. Also, if you see me looking down, it's because I took some notes, because I don't want to leave anything out. This movie is a feast to your eyes. There's so many different art styles and so many different elements of different art styles that make appearances that you feel like you're going back and forth in time, because you have like some references from the comics, like the little like text on the side during certain scenes, this little like sound noises. I don't know if you know what I mean, but like usually like if you've read a comic, you know, like the way they represent noises is with a little sound inside a cloud, but all of those little elements really make it for the visuals. I think it was so important for all of them, for them to incorporate little things like that, given that a lot of the characters were from comics. So I definitely love that detail about the movie. Finally, a movie based in New York actually represents what New York is really like. And I'm not from New York, I don't live in New York, but I live in Miami, and I know that New York, just like Miami, is a huge melting pot of Latinos. And this character, Miles Morales, the protagonist of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, his mom seems to be Latina for sure, and his dad is African American. And there's little scenes here and there of conversations he has with his mom in full Spanish, and you don't get them subtitled on the screen. And I love that. I feel like that's so important because it feels raw, it feels real. New York is such a huge mix of people, and there's so many families like this that are biracial. It feels right that they would include a character like this and that he wouldn't have any trouble transitioning from English to Spanish. For me as a writer, character depth is everything. I feel like it's so important to create not just underdog that gets bit by a spider and then everyone thinks he's cool. That's usually what I hate about most superhero movies, that these guys had no backstory and or they really have nothing about them. And this movie changes that. I'm not singling out any specific superhero movie, so don't come for me. But I see it as a normal theme that there's not much to the character other than the fact that he acquires a superpower. That's usually how I see it. If that's not your opinion, stick with your opinion. But I really enjoyed that in this movie. He has hobbies and he has struggles typical of his age, and you see that side of the character not only before he gets bitten by the spider, but also throughout the movie. So you see more to him than just the fact that he's the new Spider-Man. The music on this movie is outstanding. Even from the little scenes here and there where he is actually singing along to his favorite song, I feel like it's so real to just be at home doing your own thing and singing only the words you know from your song. I feel like it's it feels very real and it feels very relatable. So I actually love that scene. While we're in character and sound, I want to talk about the voice actors. Like, so few people talk about the voice actors in movies like this, but they're so important. Let's just say I was at the movies with my boyfriend and some friends watching this movie, and as soon as I heard Jake Johnson's voice, I knew it was Jake Johnson. And I'm a New Girl fan, so obviously like I knew him from there, but I don't think the character that he voices in this movie would have been the same if he had been voiced by anybody else. He's so perfect for that character specific. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little shout out to the voice actors of this movie. Great job. Concept of family is a focal point throughout the movie, and it shows. This was something that it really mattered to me, because when you first get introduced to the character, you see him as an 8th grader with his family, and I figure like throughout the movie they were just going to like try to like fade that out like they do in most superhero movies. Like the family usually shows up at the beginning and something horrible happens to them, and then that's the motivation for the hero to go after the bad guy. But it really wasn't the case here. It really shows that they put so much effort into keeping the story true to Miles Morales as a protagonist, and I really appreciated that. So family being a focal point is an A+. Like I said, I write myself, so script and dialogue is a very important thing to me when I'm watching a movie. I think the script and dialogue in this one wasn't really anything extraordinary, but they really didn't overdo it, which is something I find in a lot of movies of this type. Either they get too cheesy with the whole hero subject, or they milk the cow of humor way too much. And this movie actually has the perfect balance. It didn't feel cheesy, it didn't feel like they made a little many jokes and they kind of got lost in the story. So I will have to give this script and dialogue like a solid 8. I think it was very well done. It wasn't anything extraordinary. Like, I have pretty high standards for script and dialogue, so an 8 is pretty good for me. I feel like that was a really clever way of incorporating the character's own aura or persona to the Spider-Man franchise in a very unique way, so I appreciated that a lot. I've been trying to get to this point the entire video. I'm so excited to talk about this. Strong female leads. Oh my god, this movie has some of the best female leads I've seen in a long time. Thank you so much, Marvel, for realizing that women are no longer damsels in distress. It's 2019. People need to wake up to this fact. So thank you so much for this. Every female in this movie is a badass. From Mary Jane, who opens the movie with a speech about how people need to freaking get up and do something. Let's not get into spoilers. But Mary Jane is a badass. Freaking Aunt May is a badass. Every girl in here is a badass, and I am here for it. I totally appreciate that. I would totally take my nieces to the movies to watch this movie just so they can look up and see themselves reflected in these females and know that they too can make a difference. So thank you so much for this, Marvel. Totally appreciate the badass woman in your film. Thank you. The movie, one of my friends said that he felt like the movie was a love letter to the character, and I thought that was a very good way to put it. I love that the character is not already a grown man, because he's still in like that process of like growing his self-esteem and learning about himself. And the movie, you really root for this kid. Like, obviously you know he's a good guy, you know he's gonna win in the end, but you really fall in love with the idea of this character, because either you've been there or you know someone who has, and you really sympathize to his whole like middle school sucks. And you look at the movie and you're like, yes dude, middle school sucks, but don't worry, it gets better. So I really think the overall feel of the movie, given that they involved the family and they involved so many little aspects of his personality, it's a really warm movie. It's a really sweet movie to watch with your family, to watch with friends. Story, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 because of what I already talked about. The way they involved all the characters was seamless. There were no plot holes, so I absolutely love the stories. I'm gonna give them a thumbs up for that. Entertaining, how entertaining it was, I'm gonna say it was an 8 out of 10 because of what I already told you guys about the script. I'm not too, I like to think I'm not too picky on scripts, but then I never give a movie a 10 if the script didn't blow me away, so 8 out of 10 is pretty good for me. Well written. This ties back to story. I want to say I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because there were, like I said, there were no plot holes. Everything flowed decently. I was very happy with the way everything flowed, so 9 out of 10 on how well written it is. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. 10. I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful movie to watch with friends, to watch with young kids, to just take your family to a movie theater and enjoy a night out. So that's it for our first review. Thank you for hanging out with me. We'll see you guys very soon. Subscribe to the channel and like this video if you like the movie as well. Bye!